Hello there and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I am Victor Matthias. Thousands of citizens have died and many remain in a state of disability due to the terror campaign launched by Boko Haram since 2009, which has resulted to the crumbling of economic activities in the northern region of Nigeria. Also, issues of kidnapping, armed robbery, corruption, have remained in the front burner of things that need to be brought to an end. Today on the program, I will be joined by a public affairs analyst, Tunde Leye, and other Nigerians joining via a video chat to discuss the state of the nation. Just before we do that, other topics made the trends list on social media. Let's take a look at some of them. Channel's National Kids Cup. Primary school kids gathered in Lagos from around the country to participate in the Channel's National Kids Cup, displaying tantalizing, breathtaking and magnificent football playing skills that has wowed Nigerians. I hope the NFF is watching. La Decima. Real Madrid claimed their 10th European Champions League after defeating city rivals Atletico 4-1 in extra time, with world's most expensive player and the highest paid footballer on earth justifying their paychecks. Hala Madrid. Interesting trends. Let's first meet Nigerians calling via a Google Plus Hangout.
A peaceful country like Nigeria to be in this situation is very bad. But I want to say, for we to overcome these terrorists as a nation, we have to be united and we have to speak one voice, because immediately when we are divided, they will be thinking that they are winning the fight against the government. So the only way the government and Nigeria will defeat this fight is for everybody to unite and fight this fight. But in a situation whereby when there is a blast, you hear people criticizing the government, they are incapable, they are this, they are that, it's not helping even the security agencies to fight the fight, because what we are talking here is not people that have camp in a particular place that you are fighting. These are faceless people. They might be in this Google Hangout, you don't know. They are living with us, we don't know who they are. So it's for everybody in Nigeria to involve in this fight.
We are at a situation where even the girls that have been kidnapped, I'm not sure if bringing them back home is safe. I'm thinking it's even safer for them to be with the terrorists than to be back home, because we are facing as much despair as they might be facing sitting and living with the terrorists. Now, one of the speakers was saying that we should unite and, push this terrorism away. The question I ask that speaker is, has the federal government of Nigeria done enough to show that they are willing to win this war? Have they shown enough honesty that they have everything they need to win the war? The Minister for Finance mentioned a particular figure as the amount that has been released. So many, almost 200 billion that has been released this year to the military. The military is still claiming to be underfunded. So who is lying? How am I, a citizen of Nigeria, supposed to help the federal government to fight a war when the federal government itself is not being honest with itself? So that is the crossroads that we are right now.
If we really want to fight these terrorists, I don't want to agree that Nigerian army is not well equipped to fight them, because fighting these people is not something that, okay, they are in this end, we are in this place, let's start the battle. No. If we want to fight this fight and win them, it's not all about funding. But that have a huge impact to play, but it's we the people. The federal government will keep on calling. If we want to number them, they are not even up to let me say, they are not even up to 2 or 3,000 people. We are talking about 170 million people. If we are not united and join hands together with them, how do you think even the military can succeed?
A huge part of what's going on in the country right now is the failure of intelligence. Okay, we're in 2014. The tools, it's to a large extent, intelligence is made a lot easier these days. And I don't know why our government have not focused on 2014 level intelligence gathering. I'm amazed we're still talking, well, the military is being infiltrated, well, the political class is being infiltrated, and yet we can't put names to faces. We can't point out who are these people who have been compromised. Surely it can't be that difficult if you had a proper intelligence network as obtained in many parts. And thanks to technology, it's a lot easier these days. The average Nigerian has a cell phone or more, and the average Nigerian uses the internet, and these are tools that you can very easily use to track someone down. These days, you have softwares that scan every email, every text message. There are certain words that are red flag words. So if you send a text message and there's a red flag word, you send an email, there's a red flag word. These are things that technology is so readily available these days to pick this up.
I know the Nigerian problem is not just a Nigerian problem, it's a system problem. It's we ourselves as the problems. You understand? But we need to start having strategies in place to start addressing some of these things. Boko Haram is just one out of a million problems we have. The Agbero boys on the street of Lagos, they themselves are a terrorist group if they want to. If they want to wake up today and cause a big havoc, they can easily without anything. So someone being in Sambisa forest and trying to claim a right on something is just one out of 1,000 people. The polytechnic students have been on strike for how many months right now? If they want to cause a real stoppage to everything that is happening in Nigeria right now, they can, and they have the right. You understand? So those boys that are angry because they can't be educated in the university is also a form of the government being a Boko Haram against them, because right now they're denying them education, they're denying them the basic rights that they need. So the Nigerian system has failed in every right. Everybody can be a Boko Haram. So terminology or nomenclature we give ourselves is not the issue. The issue is, as a Nigerian state, what can we address to help ourselves in terms of education, in terms of communication, in terms of trust, in terms of security, in terms of integrity.
I'm just really not happy about the way the federal government has been handling the insecurity situation in Nigeria, particularly in the area of policing. Let them give states some kind of legal backing to have some community policing. Lagos State is doing a little bit better because the security trust fund they generated from people, from organizations in Lagos, they are using it to motivate the police officers around in Lagos, and everybody is going on their normal business. The same thing is happening in Oyo, Ogun, and stuff like that. Everybody in Anambra, they are creating a security trust fund to motivate and support the police, and which invariably is helping them in one way or the other. And I don't think none of the northern part of the country has such program in terms of security. So the federal government should give a legal backing to state policing so that the states too can employ. Because if I'm a police officer now and I'm being transferred to Maiduguri, I don't speak Hausa, I don't know any of those. So if somebody comes to me and said, Oga Mirinya or something like that, I don't know what he's talking about. So they can't really even have that freedom, that free will to come to me and give me a security or something that has to do with my job. They want to look at me as if I don't know, I'm not part of them. So community policing and state policing, or whatever they wanted to call it, should be given a second thought.
It is a joint effort. The governor is the chief security officer of his state, and True, he's limited because he doesn't have the tools directly to hand, but then he can work hand in hand with the person who happens to be the commissioner of police for that state. You know, every state has a security council, you know, and it's about liaising. I mean, the fact that he's the chief security officer in the state does not mean he's particularly unduly limited because the inspector general, because the commissioner of police is not answering directly to him. Even though that's the case, if there are areas of conflict, remember that the governor can directly appeal to the presidency to resolve the issue. So it's not like he's completely incapacitated and helpless, even just because there's no state police. Now, I'm not necessarily averse to the concept of state police. I'm not 100% sure how mature our polity is at this time to allow each state to have their own police. Because there's this danger that at the end of the day, the governor might just use the police as a tool when it comes to electioneering time to oppress his opponents. There's that danger is always there.
The whole insecurity, beyond the whole religiosity, beyond the entire spectrum of poverty, I think the fundamental problem is that we have politicized everything. And we are politicizing everything because we want to divide the people and then rule them. So that's why you see the whole Boko Haram issues, the whole issue of insurgency, left, right, and center. We now hear of one again in the Middle Belt. Is it Umbasa or something they call it? Now, all this is that everybody is trying to create his own territory so that they can use it to negotiate power and hold on to power as well. That's the way I see it. You see, the point of poverty again and deprivation in the country is also about power and sharing. People don't want to do what is right. Elected political office holders don't want to do what is right because they want to amass more wealth and use it to make sure that they buy the people and get the control of the people. They don't want to do what is right because they want to hand out. They want to give the people handouts at the end of the day, so that they will feel, they will have the sense of master to servanthood. The whole problem is not, for me, is not just about leadership, like the leadership at the, it's not just about the fact that people at the top are not doing their responsibilities, but it's because so much injustice has been done for too long and it has been left unaddressed or unattended. So that is why you're having much more injustices building from the previous injustices that have been in the society.
It would be wrong for anybody to say that the federal government hasn't done anything. And I agree with my friend Martins, who said the president is probably overwhelmed. But I'm going to say this without any kind of apology. The president should have known the kind of responsibility he was taking on when he took the vow to protect Nigeria. Yes, the police are doing what they can within their limited resources and limited training. And I agree with those who say that terrorism is new to us, so we're learning as we go. But we don't have to. I don't think we have to go through all the mistakes that America went through, all the errors that Pakistan went through, all the errors that Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all those places that terrorism has took root. I don't think we have to go through all those mistakes for us to get it right. There's a template on ground. Now, I'm one of those guys who, at the beginning of the insurgency, said that at the beginning of the state of emergency that was declared in those 3 states, that we were going to get it wrong, because I didn't see there any clear strategy that was going to involve the locals, the people on ground. How were we going to use the people on ground to achieve safety in those places? There was nothing like that.
I still feel that failure of intelligence is a big thing the country needs to look at. In a way, this whole saga is a blessing in disguise, in the sense that finally, hopefully, our leaders will wake up. We'll see it as a wake-up call. Enough damage has been done, enough sorrows, enough heartache. Now it's time to begin to repair.